Hi there, View of Uranus here. Let's talk. In the world of fan fiction, there is this concept called slash. Slash is when someone takes a pre-existing character and changes their sexual proclivities to allow other partners that would not otherwise they would not otherwise have if they were written as originally intended. Now, I saw this overtake fan fiction, and it was mostly from younger girls and single females in their 20s for some reason. Now, with a few exceptions, this seemed to be primarily who was writing this genre, and it became very exclusionary to anyone else who wrote the characters' original sexual morals still in place. Now, what does this have to do with the comic industry? Well, with all pop culture at this point. Well, look around. Those kids grew up, and they got jobs. Now, so many characters have been twisted to gay or bisexual at this point. To seeing a man and a woman kiss, it's almost taboo. These writers that infested fanfiction are now writing for television, movies, and young adult, and yes, comics. Now, to find young adult fiction starring a guy and a girl exclusively, it's almost impossible at this point, as indicated by DC's foray into the same Bring Me the Ocean. What slash is, this is my opinion, is the oversexualization of culture showing up in our fiction. Now, women and girls have a tendency to write characters as cutouts for themselves, even the male characters, and they like to become the characters. So when there are two men or two women that they find attractive, writing those characters as gay or lesbian puts them kind of sexually, physically with both. It's like a 2-for-1. Now, the problem is when you take a character who was first realized as straight, and then you twist them sexually to be something they were not from their inception, then you add an element that is out of character. And everything that person does from that point on is disingenuous and fake in a way that's really counterproductive to the fiction you're trying to create. Good fiction, as we have said earlier in other of my episodes, you feel free to click back. But good fiction occurs when you remove yourself, when you get out of the process and allow for pure vision to be brought to clarity. Now, if you're focusing a lens on a camera, well, who has cameras now, but maybe a webcam, okay. But if you're focusing a lens, there's something on the lens, then whatever you're focusing becomes irrelevant. You have to clean the lens. You have to clean it off before you can focus it in. So if you are leaving residue on the lens from your own agenda, your own worldview, or even icky politics, then you would never get a clear vision of what the story is, or who the characters are. Any character that was originally one way that you force into a new mold in any shape or form is a new character with the name of the old character on it. Now, sexuality is such a small part of who someone is, it was never meant to be our entire identity. So when someone makes an old character gay, when they were not that originally, then the new sexual proclivities, it becomes who they are. And you have to alter everything around that to make it stick. Now, I've seen good slash fiction is the argument I receive the most, and I always counter with, would that story have been as good if the characters used were original to the story? Or are the characters just interchangeable because of the subject matter? If so, could it have been better if it was written with original characters who started out as gay? When a person I ask that is honest, the answer is yes. So what we are seeing in the comics and in other pop culture is when you twist characters to be something they have not been from their inception, you get stories that are just basically fill in the blank. Instead of Iceman being made gay when he was a horn dog from his inception for women, why not use North Star? Why not use Hector from the original Pantheon or the Hulk comics? I saw a pin-up in the swimsuit edition Marvel put out of those two hanging out together poolside, and I thought, even though I was a conservative kid, that they looked right together. These are poorly or ill-used characters who you rarely see, and they were gay from the start. That was their identity. Then you could start from there, find their personality, find who they are, and write a relationship. And North Star, who was cool and aloof, and Hector, who was this insecure man-child, I mean, I could see the possibilities. I could write that now. So why not write, or even better, write an original gay character and add something new to the canon? However, if you make, this happens a lot, if you write that their being gay is like all their traits, and their only trait, then you're back at ground zero, lifeless character that ultimately is not going to last long and no one's going to care about. So, bottom line here. If you have a character that is gay, let them be gay. But if the character is straight, that's not a character flaw to be fixed. Gaying up characters is not progressive. It's lazy. Get yourself out of the fiction, and you will get better fiction. I hope that helps. This was the view of Uranus. Have a nice day.